Hi friends, I'm Cheryl. Welcome to my channel. I know I haven't done a video in a couple of months and suddenly I did two back to back. What's up with that, huh? I just want to put out here that there's been a couple of things that have come up recently and they feel like they're messages that I'm supposed to put out there. And one of them is that when you feel yourself resisting, struggling, that's usually a sign of forward movement. Because if you think about even the very act of being in resistance, resistance is trying to move, right? If you are in a physical resistance with someone, you're pushing and they're pushing. As soon as someone gives or someone is stronger than the other, there's movement. Resistance, struggle equals movement. You can move both ways, right? So let's just talk for a second about that movement being forward movement. I have found that when I am actually healing something from my past, I've come to realize that when something deep is being healed, and at this point in time, it's almost all a new layer of it, then I'm going to suddenly start feeling that angst, like nothing sits well. People will say things to me and I feel like I need to argue. Or I listen, but inside of my head, I'm not agreeing with them. That doesn't really happen to me. I don't think that that's really true. Those are wonderful, wonderful indicators that you are really working through this next layer. So how can you facilitate that? How can you help yourself along? It helped me to recognize that those were indicators of something I was healing. It does not make it go away. You have to do the work. And I think that on this journey, a lot of the times when you're on a healing journey, a lot of the times we think that once we've acknowledged something that we're healing, then that makes it better. And in the early stages of my healing journey, the acknowledgement was huge. I had to that was all I could do. And for years, unfortunately for me, I thought that acknowledgement was everything that I needed. And the acknowledgement, because I thought that way, the acknowledgement went without any work. So it just basically became, yeah, that was a moment in time. And then as things would happen, I would continue to take them in and say, ooh, that kind of hurts. Let me just put that down, way down there. Because I don't really want to hurt. I don't like that pain. So the resistance to me today is me looking at the pain, looking at what's being said, and sitting with it, feeling it, talking to it, screaming at it. Yes, yes. All of the above, crying over it. The emotion is really important because you're struggling for a reason. And it usually comes back to why God, divine, source, whatever you want to call it, higher power, why? I can't answer your why for you. You know that. But you also know that it's usually those cathartic moments of just release that movement occurs. For myself, I can remember recently when I just was in such a struggle, couldn't quite pinpoint what was going on. And I threw a temper tantrum. I mean, I was on the floor, my legs and my arms were kicking. And even just the movement seemed to move something inside of me that allowed me to find some calm and get some clarity. So I want to suggest to you that perhaps when you are in that place of resistance, struggle, then maybe, just maybe, it is important to move. It is in falling down that we learn almost everything that matters spiritually. So that falling down is the resistance and the struggle when suddenly what it is you're struggling against moves out of the way and you tumble. And in those moments where you go, why was I struggling so hard? That if you are paying attention, if you are conscious, then you'll begin to see why it mattered so much. That recent time when I had the temper tantrum, I was trying to understand my relationship with someone. I didn't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. And I was, one, not willing to turn it over. I felt like it was my job to be perfect. And two, was that word perfect. That word that was like, well, I shouldn't make a mistake. So I was struggling and resisting the idea that I could make a mistake again. And when I fell down, when I had my tantrum, and I moved, I realized that it's my mistakes that I learn from and grow through. This life isn't promised to be without pain. We can see our pain as the destination, or we can see our pain as what is moving us to something better. And these days, I choose to be on the train, to see something better. I'm moving. So that's what I have today.